10th, 2022 meeting to order. And we'll have a roll call. I see.
I'm here. Richard's here.
Bob Cardinal's here. Margaret's here. Jason is here. John is here. David is here. Barbara's here. Nikki is here. Council member Nikki is here, and TJ is here. TJ is our liaison from the Maplewood Area Historical Society. Thank you, TJ, for making this another meeting. Here we are. Okay, and our staff, Joe Sharon. Go ahead, Joe.
Well, right now we have to approve the agenda, followed by approval of minutes.
Okay, is there anything to be added to the agenda?
There's two things. One,
Richard, go ahead.
One is the Maplewood Heritage Award, looking for candidates for that. Two.
Okay, that'll be number one, will be the Heritage Award. Okay.
Two, we are supposed to have January or February of the year, the demolishing reports from the building department.
Okay, Maplewood. Building demolishing report.
Plus the other thing that I got with Mike Sheehan was the new ordinance, and it says we're supposed to see all building, land use, building permits, and all the projects that are going through the city.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
That's it. And I'll prove it.
Okay, are there any?
Hey, hang on a second, Richard. You can make the motion, but somebody else has to second it. So you're making the motion to
add all that.
Yeah, the motion for Richard is to add these items. We need a second now.
Richard's the one-man show. I'll second.
And who's the?
Jason.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to add number 1 and 2 under new business. Are there any other items that we want to?
1, 2, and 3.
Okay, well, we'll call that 3. The building is 3. Anyone else? Any other commissioners have anything to add? Anyone? Okay, I'd like to add, we'll call it 4, number 4. And that would be discussion on the prior 2 years of the Maplewood Heritage Preservation Commission. And that would bring us back to March of 2019. And if we could just briefly talk about that. So that'll be number 4. Is there I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Margaret. We'll call that HPC March 2019. Okay. Anything else? Anyone else? Any other commissioner have anything to add? Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda? As amended, yeah. Is there a motion? Richard? Okay, is there a second? Is there a second?
I'll second.
John Gasper, seconds. Thank you. We have an agenda. Let's go to approve the minutes. Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes that our staff member Joe Sharon sent out? Okay, is there any corrections or changes to the minutes? I think you had that. You had that with the draft on it, Joe, right?
Yeah, the minutes from the prior meeting always come as a draft because they can be amended at this meeting.
Okay, thank you. Any changes or additions to the draft minutes of January 13th? Anyone? Is there a motion to accept the minutes as prepared?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, Barbara. Thank you, Richard. All in favor of accepting the minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any negative? We have the minutes approved. Now we'll move on to new business. And the first one is the Heritage Award. Richard, do you want
Rolls
comment
up.
about that?
Well, every year we try to present one person that's done a lot of work to bring the city better.
Okay.
And some years we've had more than one. We try to have just one. Somebody that's done more than just, and they can be from any area. They don't have to be from the Historical Society, Historic Commission. They could be somebody from in the city that's done outstanding work. That's not employed.
Okay.
Yeah, and just for clarification, the award, I believe, and if the award essentially says anyone who has done any significant work to preserve history, preserve buildings, or preserve the heritage of the city could be nominated for this. They don't have to be connected to anything. They can just be a regular citizen. Or
Okay,
I should say resident. Resident.
Okay.
And this would, to Commissioner Carey's point, this would get us back on the normal track. We normally do the calls for this at around February, and then we do a recall in March, and then by the April meeting is when we do the actual thing.
Okay, so we're announcing it now that in the next 30 days that any app or suggestions of the award to anyone in Maplewood be given to our staff member, Joe Sharon. You can email them or call them. I would like to save some time here and suggest that we put Pete Boulay up as a possible recipient. Anybody else have anybody to mention right now? Anyone? Okay, Joe, you have a start of a list there.
Yeah, I appreciate the people, like Commissioner. But what I would also, while I think it's important that this committee does get to, members of this committee get to nominate folks. In the past, we've put out a public on our website and our social media platforms. We've put out a public call for applications. So
Right.
people know of, so that helps augment what we decide.
Okay, very good. Any other discussion on the Heritage Maplewood Heritage Award? Okay, we'll move on to number two. Richard, do you want to comment on the building and demolition report?
Each year, when we first started, basically in our bylaws, it says the demolition permit final report. I'm almost last couple of years, it's taken them a while to get their act together. You know, it's been a busy year, what have you. And do we want to change it to as they come in, that they have to bring it to us so we can approve it, so that we know what history that might be getting demolished? Because I heard there were some cabins across the street from where Pete lives that were taken down. And somebody was asking me, didn't they come or didn't you hear about it? No, So, they were they were one of them that was here before Maplewood was even around.
Okay, that's the buildings. Did you want to mention demolition report? Okay, so you're requesting that we receive it for
On
20.
a timely, either a timely or do we want to make a motion to go back to the way it states in the bylaws where they have to come to us before the permit is handed out.
Okay. Well, we'll let our staff person. Building.
What I would suggest is, and Richard, I appreciate you bringing these issues up. If two things. One, give me a minute to look into this. I have to go back and look at the bylaws because I have to know what we're asking for. So if you give me it to the next meeting to know what we're asking for.
Well, this is everything that I brought up, Joel. You can look at it.
Here's my understanding, Richard, and I have to go back and double check. My understanding in reading our bylaws is they only have to present the permit. That's why I want to go back and reread it. My understanding is they only have to go back if there's a historic significance there. So that was the way it reads to me. I got to go back and look. That's why I appreciate when I send out this Friday, take a look at the agenda. Because if you would have let me know Friday, I would have looked into it and answered.
Well, I tried looking, and what I did, I put that my ordinance that Mike gave me us.
Yeah, but I believe the one Mike gave you was outdated. I have to go back.
It was just before he left. It was the whole thing.
Okay, let me double check, and I will get an answer to you before the next meeting.
Call Mike, and he might be able to tell you where it is, because I couldn't get onto the.
It actually every single ordinance in our city is on our website in a very searchable format. So remember, I actually have it printed out in my office. Unfortunately, I'm at home right now, but I have a copy of the bylaws in my HPC folder in my office.
I looked at it. It looked like it was about 5 pages, and this was he only gave me what 2 or something like that.
Yeah, it's about a 5-page. It's about a 5-page doc.
Okay, let's Barbara.
My question is, who is deciding if it is historically significant? I mean, so they're asking for a permit. So shouldn't those for demolition at least come to our commission? I'd at least like to have several pairs of eyes or different departments looking at it, because if it doesn't come to us, and then whoever had been looking at it didn't realize the history and said, "Oh, it's not significant," but it really was. I think there should be a double check. There should be 2 different departments that look at something before it's demolished.
The planner has come to us a couple times to tell us about buildings that were going to be demolished that went for a permit. But we didn't look for things like garages and stuff like that. People torn down. They never came to us. But they did come to us for like the wedding day building up of by the mall, by Maplewood Mall, and a couple other houses.
All right. Any other discussion? Okay, and Joe, if you could check on that would be number 1 and 2, and then also the building and land use. See what that reads. Any other discussion? Any other questions or comments? Okay, we'll move on to number 4, HPC March of 2019.
Hang on one second, Commissioner Cardinal. The other. So we talked about, and then Richard, you had talked about number 3. Well, I have all buildings in my note. You had made 3 points to your motion. So we're.
What I was saying in this ordinance, in fact, I got one here, it's 300 and something. Other commission shall review, make recommendations to council concerning other building permits following and all that other.
Yeah, okay. So I thought that was part of the demo. That's fine. All right, we can move on.
Okay, so under four, under new business, HPC, I'm put March
I think you froze up,
19,
Paul.
because I have some correspondence. Okay. All right. So Ginny Gaynor retired in May of 2019. And then we were without a staff person for about 6 months or 8 months or something like that. And then Mike Sable came on. We had him for 6 months or so. And now we're fortunate to have Joe. And I think, Joe, you're coming up on 6 months. So at that point, we only had a few commissioners. And Jason, when did you start?
Not 100% sure about when has it been a year? It's got to be close.
I have,
okay.
Again, I have just if that's what you're asking for, I have a document on my desk, again, in my HPC folder, when everyone who's currently on the commission, when they join the commission, when their term expires.
Okay.
Use that I could.
Okay. So we will
include that in the packet. So I
look for that and get us up to stuff. So right now we have a full commission, but it hasn't been for very long, and we've had a lot of changes. So I just want to recognize 2020. That Ginny Gaynor was with. Good. Okay, so you've been quite a while. John was there. John's been there a long time, and so I just want to bring that to our attention that we've had a lot of change, and we're getting to know each other, and we've been together a little while now. And what did we have? One meeting where we were all together. So, Joe, any thoughts on when we might be back live?
It's possible now that we're looking at some of the things that are going on. It's possible either the March meeting or the April meeting. Again, that's a decision that's up to the mayor, and she's basing it on the 50 cases per 100,000. So that's the kind of the threshold that they're using. So the Minnesota Department of Health publishes every day how many cases per 100,000 have been confirmed. So that's what we're going off of.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Nikki, I just ask you to, when you interact with your fellow council members, to see if we can come on as soon as possible. Okay, thank you. Any other discussion about their last couple of years? Okay, now we'll move on to unfinished business. Update on St. Paul Regional Water Services construction. Joe Sharon.
Okay, thank you. Chair, I'm going to share my screen here with you, and I believe this was in the packet, so you have this letter. But if you're not familiar with it, here it goes. So essentially, what they did the 106 consultation for the St. Paul Regional Water Service redo, and they determined that when it comes to the geological or the archaeological dig, there was nothing significant under the ground. They found that though there was a building that was of historic significance and was possibly eligible for the Register of National Places. However, because of the scope of the project,
Recording stopped.
We'll just wait until Joe comes back on.
And I had a deal of recording it stopped.
I had a note that Nikki was in charge now.
Recording in progress.
Okay, now it's being recorded again.
We're not hearing you, Joe.
I don't see him up.
So it looks like everyone is back in the grid now. And I don't know why it blinked off like that. So where we are now is there's a meeting next week that the project consultants are going to hold. And let's see here. So Tuesday, so Commissioner Cardinal and Commissioner Gaspar, you should have received a set of meeting invites from the St. Paul Regional Water Service, and they finalized the meeting next Tuesday, February 22nd at 10 a.m. to discuss next steps on how they could proceed with the project. So that's kind of where we are with that process. So I can attend if you're available to attend the meeting. Great. I'm planning on attending next Tuesday at 10 a.m. and I can report back to the next meeting what we discussed. If there's something we need to discuss in the meantime, we could do that as well. I checked in with the project engineer. He said he was fairly new to this type of work. And so they're taking it one step at a time with the guidance of the state.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, that's the update on unfinished business 1, regional water services, and number 2, Joe Sharon.
Okay, we had met earlier this week in our subgroups, and we talked about strategic plan goal number 2, working with the city. And I don't want to put Mr. Hughes on the spot, but we made some good progress. Goal number 2, just for your recollection, is creating an interactive website so that community members, educators could get a good sense of what was going on in the city and how the city's history developed. We talked a lot about some mapping software that was available. I connected with some of our public maintenance folks who do have some overheads of the city over the course of time. It's just a matter now of what format we're going to get it in. The other piece of this is, in coalition with the Maplewood Area Historical Society, we're putting a grant together to try to find a staffer who could take on the legwork on this. So if we're able to get that grant, we could take on some of the legwork. Mr. Hughes is in the initial stages of gathering information, but his idea, his vision on this one was some mapping software to really as a starting point to figure out how we could see, so again, educators could look at a year, a date and time, and figure out what the city looked like from a physical standpoint, while we incorporate other pieces such as, the living histories, the 60 stories, and other pieces. Dave, Commissioner Hughes, is there anything you want to add to that?
You have to unmute there.
I got it. It didn't say I was muted, so it muted it all by itself. Yeah, we just kind of talked about trying to build a set of maps that you could walk your way through the history of the city, maybe a topo of what the city looked like at one time. I know there's a map down at the Minnesota Historical Society because I've used it of what the glaciers did to this. And we want to go back and put that as a base and then build up on top of it, railroad period, pre-railroad period, look for some native connections. What's buried? Can we find a village? And just kind of trace it through time with a set of maps. And then hopefully at some point we can tie the stories back, maybe in shorter pieces with the links back to the longer pieces. So you're getting little blurbs versus the whole big story, and then you can go back in and get the story. And I think more people will use it if it's more interactive and it's not, you know, reading 10 pages. It's reading a couple of paragraphs and then going, oh, I can click on this and I can go read the whole story. So just make it more user friendly. I almost spoke English there. User friendly.
That's good. Very good. Good recap. Anyone else? Any questions for Dave?
TJ, I don't know.
Karen, or 'cause I don't see her up on the top here.
Who are you talking about? Barbara's there.
Barbara.
Everybody's there.
Yep.
Okay, I don't see her picture up here.
You need to pay your cable bill.
Well, the other thing you might want to do is toggle your view. So go from grid view to speaker view. See if you can toggle your view back, and you might be able to see
what I do here.
Or widen out. The other thing is to widen out your screen.
Barbara, do you have anything to add?
Oh God, then I get Bob.
You're mute.
No, I don't. Not on that one, no.
Okay, very
There. Now I see her.
good. Okay, that's goal number 2.
So, okay, and then on update number 3, strategic plan, Barbara and Commissioner Hughes met. I think this is the one where we could hit the ground running pretty early. Both commissioners identified people that were willing to share their oral histories. Commissioner Kern is in a very good position because sort of after talking to her and maybe consulting with TJ, we kind of started to explore the idea of maybe, you know, in addition to the 2 newer families who've moved in to Commissioner Hughes's neighborhood, Commissioner Kern's neighborhood kind of tells a story of what Maplewood kind of became over time. She has a cul-de-sac, and she has a lot of different types of families from different backgrounds that move into her cul-de-sac. And TJ and I were kind of theorizing that we know at least one came to work for 3M. Why did the others move in there? And then how did this become sort of a sub neighborhood within the larger community? And so in trying to do some of these oral histories, to do them well, take some outside funding. TJ was with his background and his expertise, was able to kind of identify and earmark what some of this would cost, and it is pretty costly. It is a few $1,000s. So we were talking about he had earmarked a couple of possible grants to help pay for doing this. I think again, if we're able to get those grants, coordinate with the people who are going to participate, I anticipate being able to get this one goal done this year.
Wonderful. Okay, is that it, Joe?
Yeah, that's
okay. So we've got.
Does any of the commissioners have anything to add, since it's supposed to be commission run?
Do you have any?
Well, I hate to do this to you, but there's and Bob knows I was looking into something. I went section 297 in the council book.
Okay. Well, Richard, pass that on to our staff liaison here.
Because we can also, the city attorney under section 298 is supposed to be available to us too.
Okay, if you'd pass those both on to
okay.
Joe Sharon.
Could you provide some context about the city attorney?
I'm sure they are available to us, Richard, but why would we need them?
I don't think you want to go into that right now. We need to go into that right now. Richard,
all I'm saying is if we need them, we could use them.
I'm certain that we can if we do need them without any issue.
Thank you, Jason. All right, Richard, just if you would pass that on to our staff member, Joe Sharon. Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to visitor presentations. TJ Lasky, TJ, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you. Thanks. Good evening. I hope you're all staying warm and such. So it's been a busy time at the Historical Society. It's what we call grant season. So I've been working on 3 major grants. Of course, the one is our partnership grant with you, HPC, and the Maplewood Area Historical Society, which would cover the cost of a almost full year, full-time communications associate who would help with the interactive website and promoting history and heritage in Maplewood. Would also cover the cost of a consultant who would work with us, just talking about what future partnerships might look like. So kind of a middle person who can lead us through some discussions. So that's super exciting. That's about an $84,000 grant, I believe. So I did find out that we made the first cut of that. I haven't got any feedback back on it. I should get that next week. And then what we'll do is we'll take a look at that grant again and submit the final grant on March 11th. So I want to thank Joe Sheeran and Barbara Kern for coming out to the farm and working on those grants applications along with me. So pretty exciting. Cross your fingers that we get that one. That'd be a great thing for the city. I also am working on what we call a small grant. So in the history world, a small grant is anything 10,000 or under, which doesn't always sound small, but that's considered a small grant. And this would be for a permanent outdoor exhibit on Maplewood's place in the Old Northwest Territory, right after the founding of the United States. So that would be a permanent exhibit. If you've been out to the farm and you know where what we call the mini savanna is, it's the clump of oak trees across from the farmhouse. There would be a path in there that would have some outdoor exhibits talking about Maplewood's place in the Northwest Territory, as well as surveying and the natural landscape and the cultural landscape. So that's pretty exciting. We will find out if we got that grant on the 22nd. So I will keep you all abreast of that. There's another grant we're applying for through AARP, which is called the Community Challenge Grant, and that would do some ADA paths out at the farm that would in particular get folks up to the gazebo, which is kind of by itself right now. If you're familiar with the farm, there's not a path up there. So we would make that a little more accessible and expand our pollinator garden and do some interpretive signage there. There's a handful of smaller grants. There's kind of, kind of one-off grants that I've been applying for. And then as Joe Sheeran had mentioned, if you would all like me to, I'm happy to use some of my release time to apply for one of our April small grants through MNHS for the oral history project. So that would be an April grant, which would be 10,000 and under. So if you all want me to do that, I'm happy to do that as well. We're in the middle of strategic planning, or I guess the end of strategic planning. I don't know. It's been a long time we've been working on strategic planning with the board, but it's pushing us in a really great direction out at the Historical Society. We're going to start events coming up soon. This Sunday, we have our snowshoe scramble. So if you feel like coming on out for snowshoes and trekking around the farm and some hot cocoa and s'mores by the fire, that's Sunday. So you can come out before the big game and break a sweat and join us for that. And then some other events coming up later in the spring as well. So it's kind of where we're at. I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Any questions for TJ? Very good, TJ. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We will move to any other comments. Anybody want to bring anything up? Any questions on membership in the Maplewood Area Historical Society.
Okay, Bob, I tried to get through, but I guess I was muted.
Okay.
What about the society? How much are they partaking in all this stuff since it was supposedly a society talk? It sounds like the commission is doing almost 90% of the bulk work on it.
Okay, well, I don't know where to go with that other than the plan. The direction is being worked on as far as the organizational development. TJ, do you want to discuss that on with where it's going?
Yeah, I guess Commissioner Curry, can you just clarify what you're referring to? I guess I'm not sure.
You had a listing session where all these projects come up that you were going to do with the society. Now the board has taken it over. What is the society going to, how are they going to help kick in and help here?
So I just want to clarify for you what a listening session is and what came out of our listening session. A listening session is inviting the public in, which we did twice, to allow for the public to state ideas, thoughts, feelings, and for us internally to get a perception of how the public views the Maplewood Area Historical Society. Nothing specific came out of those listening. I mean, there are, Bob or Commissioner or Chair Cardinal can attest, there's 9 pages of listening session results. So we're looking at all of that feedback. I don't feel that I'm gonna push back a little bit because I really don't feel that the commission is taking on the work of the Historical Society. I think we're working together. The partnership grant, for example, which would fund an associate, a communications associate, full time for both of us. I've put in 20 hours of work on that application alone. That is on the back of the Historical Society because we believe so much in the partnership that we have with the city and HBC. So I guess I'm going to push back on you a little bit there. And if you'd like to clarify your thoughts and we can talk later about it.
What are the membership of the society doing, period? For this?
What are the membership of the society doing? Well, members of the society have a choice to partake or not partake in any of the activities or projects that we involve ourselves in. I just spoke about this major grant or this small grant for a major outdoor exhibit, a permanent exhibit. That's
TJ,
pretty.
Forget it. You've walked all around the big question.
Ask me again.
I said, what are the memberships helping you with doing there?
I'd just like to say, TJ, the strategic plan will address that, I think, in the long run. Richard, maybe you can talk with TJ another time. We don't need to get into that right now. So, TJ, maybe an update next month or the following month about the strategic plan would be good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to, the five points for the strategic plan that the board is currently working on, which are the broad points right now, are financial stability, membership and volunteerism, building a relationship with the city or continuing our relationship with the city, board governance and board development. And now, of course, I'm missing the 5th one. But yeah, I hope it's clear that we are working towards building the best society we can build for the city.
I think
important.
That's accurate. I think that's accurate.
Great.
Jason, I don't know if you were made aware of it, but we did add you to our board. Did you become aware of that yet?
Yes, I did learn that information, and I appreciate it. I thank you for accepting my application. I am very glad to be a part of the board, and it sounds like there's a lot of good work that's going to be happening, and I'm excited to be a part of it all.
Well, congratulations and thank you for coming forward.
Thank you very much.
Okay, anything else that we need to discuss tonight? Anyone else?
Commissioner Cardinal.
Yes.
I had a question. Well, it's for the whole commission or TJ or whoever. I was at a training last week and I met a couple other city council people from different cities that had really cool historical society t-shirts. And I think that we need to like think about that because that sounds like a fun thing and a good fundraiser possibly. But yeah. And I also wanted to remind everybody that next week is the State of the City address. So tune into that on the 15th. And good to see everybody. I hope we can be in person pretty soon. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Nikki. And our staff member, Joe Sharon, had sent that request out. And did anybody sign up, Joe?
I don't know if anyone from this commission, I'd be keeping an eye. I haven't seen anyone from this commission yet, but I could actually send a reminder.
Send it again.
Yeah, it's going to be on channel 16, but if you want to participate in the Q&A, you got to log into the Zoom.
Okay. Okay, one last thing. I'd like to ask Nikki to spend a few minutes telling us what her experience was prior to Christmas out at the farm.
Are you talking about our fun time in the winter up in on the cherry picker?
Yes. Yes.
Well, we raised, I do see, Richard, I see your shirt and I have one of those shirts. But I think we need to have like a new 2022 one. Something a little bit more modern for our Maplewood residents.
But back, remember.
Yeah, no, that's a good shirt. I wear it all the time. But
yeah,
anyway,
it needs a new update. I'll agree because now that's almost when they moved the barn over to where it was. That's when I got this stuff.
Sure. Well, we could even do like a contest, like of people designing the shirt, you know. And then have like maybe 4 or 5 different designs and then people vote for it or something like that. I don't know. We could be creative with it, you know. But yeah, Chair Cardinal, I think the fundraiser went well. I think TJ and I set the bar pretty high, so it'll be fun to try to figure out what to do next time. But I'm sure we'll come up with something creative and fun. I think it was a success. It seems like we raised some good funds, and you know, I just want to keep helping further that cause. So anything I can do to help you all, please keep letting me know. Okay, Nikki, could you get into a little bit of more detail of what happened when you were out there? And what happened? How that came about? Well, I sat on the cherry picker. It was cold. I drank hot coffee with TJ. We called folks. I called you. Let's see. What else, TJ?
How long were you up in the air, and do you have a total number of dollars raised?
Yeah, it was like, well, TJ will have to tell you the exact dollar amount. But we were up there for, was it like 2.5 hours? I don't know. At some point your brain kind of like, just freezes itself and you're really not sure what the concept of time is.
We were up there for just over 2 hours, and the intent was that every 15 minutes or so we'd get lowered a foot for every donation that came in. Well, within the first 20 minutes or something, we had made I don't know, $2,000 or something. So that would have pushed us down real quick. So we decided to stay up there. And Nikki and I made the co-decision to hang out up there until we couldn't any longer. And we stayed up and it was pretty fun. And then we got lowered a little bit and then the wind hit. And that for me is when it got cold.
Yeah.
Is when the wind really picked up. And so we got lowered. That day we raised just under, in that 2 hours, we raised just under $5,000.
Yeah.
And then total for our total year end, because we still had people giving for that specific cause, we raised over $10,000 for year end. So super exciting. Chair Cardinal's going up in the cherry picker with me next year, so you all know.
Gotta get a stronger lift.
Kidding. He is not committed to that, so I'm putting him on the spot. But I don't know. I thought it was super fun. It was Nikki and me being kind of nerdy and dorky, talking about what we could do, and we were like, why not? So it was fun.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe next year the water tower, right? We should do a history of the Maplewood water tower.
There you go. Okay, good. I would
Which
like
one?
to,
There's two of them.
the one
Either
by
one.
Steve.
You can be on one and I'll be on the other.
I would like to call on all commissioners to, if anyone has any comments, I'll start with Margaret. Do you have any additional comments, Margaret?
No.
Okay. Jason?
I'm good.
Okay. John? Anything to add?
John, you're on mute.
John?
He's trying to get himself
No,
off mute.
no.
Okay, thanks, John. David?
I hope to see you guys in a couple of months here. It'd be kind of nice to be back in the that beautiful room. With, yeah.
Chamber.
Chamber.
Barbara?
Nope, nothing more.
Okay. Richard?
Everybody have a very happy Valentine's Day.
Okay. And Nikki, do you have anything?
Nope, I think I said it all. Just tune into the State of the City address next week.
Very
Happy
good.
Valentine's Day, everybody.
Okay, and Joe, do you have anything? Okay. So Joe, you can wrap us up. And
I don't have anything additional to add. We just need a motion to adjourn.
well, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion, we adjourn.
David, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thanks, Barbara. Motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Have a good Valentine's Day, and we'll see you in March. Thank you. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.